And welcome back to Tokyo, to the Metropolitan Arena, the Artistic Gymnastics World Championships. And so far, I have to say this is proving to be one of the finest in history. We've had an incredible few days. Joining me in the commentary box, sitting alongside me here, is Mitch Fenner and Chrsitine Still. Hello to you both.
Hi there.
And that was beautifully synchronised. But yes, hello to everybody listening back home in Great Britain, and we're on the world feed again today, so the rest of the world is listening in to our dulcet tones. Well, we can see the lineup here for the women's all-around final. This will be individual gymnasts competing through 4 pieces of apparatus, and that's the top group there, top qualifiers. So we've got Victoria Kamova, who was actually the highest qualifier for this competition. Jordan Weber as well, USA. Now there's going to be quite a tight-fought battle, I think, between those two, don't you, Chrsitine?
Yes, very tightly fought. They're the two gymnasts with the big start values. So if they don't make mistakes, people can't catch them.
Okay, well, we can see down the field there as well. We've got Danielle Hipólito from Brazil. There's 24 gymnasts in all, and it's quite an interesting point, really. We see them coming out here, that this is not necessarily the top 24 gymnasts in the world, because you're only allowed 2 per country, and you've got China, you've got Japan, and you've got America, that basically they've qualified 4 gymnasts in that top number. So taking into account those and removing those gymnasts from that top 24 that aren't allowed to be here, we've got Hannah Whelan that's now in 13th place as far as Great Britain is concerned. So a wonderful performance for her, and obviously she's going to be looking to get into that top 12, that golden top 12.
Yes, very much so. Hannah would have qualified whatever the ruling, but you're right, the very powerful nations, all of their gymnasts are strong, and they're only allowed the top 2 to qualify, so they in effect are fighting even within their team for the right to be in the individual final.
And the top qualifiers, Mitch, will be going around in the same group, which gives us obviously a really good idea, gymnast for gymnast, how things are lying.
Yeah, it's very rare for someone from the group below to jump up, but it has happened before. Usually your winner will come from that top group. It's very unusual from someone in the second group able to make the leap and get into the rankings from there, but it has happened before.
Looking there at the top 6 gymnasts, this is Group 1 for Yao Zhang. There's Kamova from Russia, who's the favourite. It'll be interesting to see what happens to her here, because she had a bit of a nightmare in the team final, did incredibly well in qualification, but kind of lost it, didn't she, for Russia? Yes,
she did. We just see a quick picture of Hannah Whelan there as well. Yes, she did. She's had surgery on an ankle in May, so she's still relatively on the way back to full fitness, and I think sort of day 1 took quite a lot out of her. Wasn't quite able to fire at the same level on day 2, but she's had a bit of a rest. She'll no doubt be keen to put that behind her and prove herself today.
So again, all eyes then on this top group. The pressure really on her first World Championships as well. I mean, it's a big, big deal, especially as teammate Mustafina isn't in this, the current World Champion.
Now that was the point I was going to make, that in the team competition she would have felt a weight on her shoulders that perhaps she won't feel tonight, and we'll see more of what she's capable of, because to replace Mustafina is a real challenge, and perhaps it weighed a little bit heavy on her.
How will we be feeling? We just saw her there a second ago. There's the group starting on bars. Coco Sarumi at the end. Hannah Whelan once again. She's in the 3rd group. They're going to be competing on beam.
And this gymnast, just presenting, Ana Pogras of Romania, is one gymnast that could leap up into that top group. She had some errors in qualification, but she has got those qualities.
Oh, indeed. She was world champion on beam at the last World Championships. So she's going to get herself off to a great start.
It would be great if she could leapfrog. Add a bit of spice to the competition. It's already a thriller in store, but that would just add a nice edge to it.
This is the group starting on floor that we're looking at here. We've got Hipólito. Her brother's incredibly good on floor. hopefully we'll get to see her too. But this is the top group, the top 6 qualifiers starting on the high-scoring vault. And as you can see from that order, Yao Xinjiang will kick things off. There she is, just warming up. Chance to see the girls on, that's the beam. I was thought we were looking at pictures of the bar, but looking at the beam lineup. So there we are. Right, Tanaka. Hannah Whelan. Well, hopefully Hannah will just go out and enjoy this competition. I mean, it's really something, isn't it, to make that top group?
Oh, it's fantastic, and she's already done 2 outstanding competitions. She's worked in the team qualifier and the team final without any mistakes. Sort of 8 routines under that sort of pressure already in this championships. It's quite a big, tough question for her to do that all over again today.
Will she be tired, do you think?
Oh yes, she will. Emotionally tired, if nothing else. You know, they had the real draining qualification where the pressure was so much on. They knew they'd got to get that 8th place. And then the elation of coming so high as 5th in the team final. She's now got to get down from all of that and push herself up again today. If she can go clean today, she will have done an absolutely fantastic job.
Come over there, looks like she's under, well, she looks pretty nervous, doesn't she? Looks incredibly relaxed. Looks a bit edgy.
Well, I think, as we talked earlier, there's a huge weight of expectation. She won the Youth Olympics, Junior Olympics, and she came here courtesy of the injury to Mustafina. It's a huge challenge for her. She's very anxious to prove her worth, I'm sure of that, and she's a fabulous gymnast, isn't she?
See the gymnasts warming up on the vault here.
Hannah Whelan starts on beam. The top group will start on vault.
And this, the hugely powerful American gymnast you see there, putting in 2.5 twists, watched by her teammates, just seeing themselves on TV. And that's her big advantage, the vault.
Very interesting. It's the almost frailty, but the grace and elegance have come over against the power and determination of the United States. I wonder who's going to come through.
Well, on a very taxing series of competitions like this, you would, if you were going to be betting, you'd bet on the power gymnasts being able to survive the grueling pressure of 3 days of competition.
Well, there's 2 Chinese gymnasts in this top group, Yao Xinjiang and Huang Hushan. It's interesting, lots of gymnasts on vault going for the wrist support, because that block and that power that they're all putting in to kind of convert the speed from the run-up into the height really takes its toll on the wrists.
It does. They find it mostly as they plant their hands in the round-off before the platform. That's where particularly the second hand down takes a tremendous amount of weight and pressure. You see they have a little mat in front of the springboard to help absorb the pressure. But a lot of them, we call them panda paws. These wrists, not exactly supports, but stop the wrist taking quite so much pressure.
Just caught a little glimpse of the scoreboard there, so we can see a 5-8 difficulty this vault. So the whole vault will be marked out of 15.8.
We'll see a lot of these gymnasts, or certainly the top group, performing the 5-8 vault. It's a straight somersault with a double twist.
The board is set. Yao Xinjiang for China. She competed on all the apparatus to help China to that bronze medal in the team final. This is all about her.
And precisely flips onto the platform. Beautiful performance. That really had lift, height, style, and wonderful direction.
What a start for the 16-year-old.
Harnesses the power beautifully. Conversion is very effective. It's high, it's clean, and she's right down the middle. It's a terrific vault. A great way to start a competition. Look at the legs. She's really working hard to keep them together. And this, shoulders were up on landing. Textbook stuff. Fabulous start for her.
Well, she's going to be looking for a high execution score with that one, isn't she, surely?
I would have thought so. So it's out of 15.8. She scored sort of in the 14s in qualifying, 14.8. She'll be looking to build a little bit more than that. I don't think the judges would be able to find too many deductions. It was high, it was perhaps not as long as some. That might be somewhere they find some deductions. But style, landing.
Yeah, and with that bit of tape right down the middle, you could see it was dead straight.
It's a sure sign she's married the twist with the somersault.
14.966. She only gets 1 vault, so that's it, job done. So, Jordan Weaver, second highest qualifier. I can tell you now that her mum is standing just behind us. She's rocking to and fro with her hands clasped below her chin.
Look at the power. 2.5 twists. Almost overcooked it. But the additional difficulty will help her out there. Just a pace forward.
Good job, Joe, was the was the call from mum.
Well, we're right alongside the vault runway, so she left her seat to come around and watch, and that vault was out of 6.5, so that's 0.7 up on start value. So she can afford to have quite a few more deductions, and I think there will be some, because there was a bit of a step on landing.
Across the bars then, and Coco Sarumi salutes the judges and the crowd here.
Lovely handstand to start. Clean stolder and shoot up. She swings effortlessly, and that's a second really strong handstand. Turns in handstand. Full pirouette with another half, 1.5, big Kachev. Every handstand shown. A half turn into a smooth full pirouette, and again the other way. Gets difficulty for both, into the front somersault. Now that handstand was a bit short, not terrible, and that was short as well. You could see she didn't quite hit the handstand before the shoot up and just didn't get her legs in properly. Such a disappointed gymnast.
Well, the Japanese men had a nightmare on bar yesterday. What a shame for her. She got a bronze at the World Championships back in London. I think maybe out of her grasp now.
I think so. She gets straight back up, and oh, that really is a disappointment for her. She didn't really compose herself. The gymnasts have 30 seconds once they fall to put the chalk on their hands again. She should have taken that time, and that would have given her a chance to complete the dismount well.
Well, just still waiting for Jordan's score. The score to beat then, 14.966. The first one posted, Yao Jingjian.
She had a little over 0.8 in deductions for that first vault. Yao Jingjian, so the judges are certainly having a long think about this.
Oh, well, she's gone ahead of her, 15.716. Super vaulting. So, on paper, this girl is the favourite. Toria Komova. I think we'll understand a lot more after this first piece of how she'll be feeling. Incredibly well in qualification, a little bit shaky in the team final. Taking a deep breath. I'm sensing tension, I really am.
It really does look that way. Even nervous glances, a little bit of blinking as well going on.
The first three gymnasts were all 16. Incredible pressure for these youngsters.
Yeah, really is. She's a very slight gymnast, so she has to hit all her angles correctly. Can't power herself through. She often does that beautifully.
Considering the scores in for Weber, I don't know why she's been held so long.
A big, big test for her. But, you don't want it before your first performance in a world final. You don't want this. Oh, a little bit of mental rehearsal. It's a double twist she's rehearsing.
Well, just to let you know, we're not in charge of the pictures here, otherwise we would be showing you a lot more gymnastics, but we quite enjoy watching her chalking up.
Dejection.
Oh, Coco Surumi, 12.533. She'd made the bar final, so we will get another chance to see her, but she'd have been looking to post a big score there and get her individual competition off to a great start. Wasn't to be. Yeah, this is not ideal. Come on. Come on, judges, I'm going to start clapping in a minute.
It's difficult to know why. The delay, really. All the scores are in. Yeah, we've got Hannah Whelan waiting over on beam, just the same. So whether there's a technical hitch perhaps with the scoreboarding or something, because actually there's no one in the arena working right at the moment.
Just the start you don't want at this level.
I do. On to bars. Scored 12.966 in the team final for Romania.
Just a little bit uncertain in the second handstand. Recovered. Tiny flip of the legs in the ginger. Good and clean in the Jaeger. The straddle front somersault to catch. Oh, almost lost it there. A little bit soggy in the back. Tiny flicker in the arms as well on these elements. And all detract from the overall performance, but it's a good dismount. Twisting in the double and just the pace back.
Yes, the Romanians lose a bit on style and technique on the asymmetric bars. Not their favoured piece. See her shuffling around. Now, I think this went the wrong way. She intended to come forwards at that point. You could see she was in reverse grip. That was a little bit of an exit she had to get. She managed to make the reverse grip later in the routine, and a lovely high Jaeger, caught with nice straight arms that time. But just slightly legs flickering apart. The judges are eagle-eyed with their pens. Super dismount, though, really well flighted and landed.
Well, speaking of landing, we're just about to see Hannah Whelan land, and I can tell you that she took a little hop forward on dismount, but she got through the routine. Haidu scores 13.366. Yeah, Haidu in that second group, so that second batch of 6 gymnasts. Victoria Komova starts her bid for an individual all-round medal.
And really works on this run. Lifts up high, lovely style on that double twist. Not the most difficult vault, but really the most stylish.
Super style, great composure, considering she had to wait for nearly 5 minutes at the end of the runway.
Recovered it superbly, and that was the first test she's had tonight.
Yeah.
Even before she got on the apparatus, she attacked it really well. Measured approach, good, strong contact. Wraps the twist in just a tiny bit to the side of the line, but here, very disciplined, pushing the shoulder down, wrapping the arms in, keeping the head nice and tight. Shoulders up on landing. A good opener for her.
Just so pleased for it went well after that enormous weight. Feeling an incredible amount of tension, and then
she looks a little more relaxed now. Pleased to have got that under her belt. That's the one piece of apparatus that she doesn't have a little bit better start value than Jordan Weber. So she knew she was under pressure on this piece right from the start.
Hannah's score is in. Hannah Whelan, 14.333. Komova scores 14.933 for vault. Just for a brief moment there, Hannah Whelan was lying third.
And that's a great performance on beam for her. She's performed really well throughout this championships on beam.
Second of the Chinese gymnasts to go. Wang Guishan, 19 years old. She did compete on vault for China in the team final. She got a 14.6. Wang Guishan.
Double twist, but you could see she was offline when she made contact with the platform, and that magnified from the double twist.
Elizabeth Seitz for Germany, bars.
Watch that move. The Shaposhnikova with full turn. The only gymnast in the world competing, and another first. Fabulous, well, not a first, but a death. A Ginger with full twist into a Jaeger. She's got a massive amount of difficulty in this routine. Beautiful piked Kachev. Really going for broke. Full pirouette that was a bit late and just held on to the handstand there. The difficulty is enormous, but there are definite deductions. You can see a little bit soggy through the back. Big full twisting double back. But what difficulty packed in that routine.
She had a go, didn't she, just? She made the bar final at the last World Championships. And that's why difficulty's the key. You can either go execution or you can go difficulty. Pile it in, that's what I say, Elizabeth.
Really exciting stuff, though, wasn't it, Chrsitine? Really exciting.
Really exciting, but she hasn't made bar final here because for every difficult move she did, she lost marks with the legs apart.
Wang Guishan, 14.733. She's in fourth at the moment. Still another 3 pieces of apparatus to go. The next gymnast bouncing around at the end of the vault runway is Ksenia Afantseva.
The one gymnast from the Russian team who was a member of the team in Beijing.
Seitz 13.933. Afantseva.
Another double twist, but it was a little bit loose-legged and very deep on the landing. And these double twists at a 5/8 start, you've got to make them clean, high, and you've got to stick to the carpet on the landing.
She did a 14.8 in the team final. Russia chose to use that.
The thing is, the start value goes up so well. The 1.5's only 5.3, the double 5.8. So coaches are tempted to go for it, even if there are some deductions, and you can definitely see deductions here. The knees are a little bit bent. And she just buckled a little bit on landing. You can see how low the knees were over the feet.
Well, 15.716 is the highest score that we've seen so far in vault. Jordan Weber.
And that's her big advantage, Jordan Weber, over the rest of the field. She has a vault that's worth so much more, 0.7 more. So it's almost like she has that as a start.
Bars will be next. So Ksenia just preparing her hands. Like she's using guards then. Do you think she'll just actually be using those, Chrsitine?
Yes, she does. And in fact, there's a little article in the International Gymnast about her being the only one of the Russian team not to now be in handguards. I mean, at the time when there wasn't a lot of money in Russia, the leather was impossible to get hold of for handguards. And many of the girls still use just these little bits of tape around the hands. It's a nightmare if you're a gymnast sharing apparatus with them, because they like the bars scraped flat when they're like that.
It's 5th for Fenner at the moment, 14.466. Well, the last gymnast in this top group to go on vault is Alexandra Reisman. She did qualify 4th. She vaulted for America in the team final, got a 14.95. So if she can get that again, she'd go up into 3rd. Seems like the judges once again want to keep her waiting and don't want to show us anything else in the meantime. So Alexandra Reisman then, 4th highest qualifier.
Fabulous height, wonderful direction as well. She made sure everybody saw that was a dead landing.
Well, if she wants 2nd, she needs over 14.966.
Well, out of 15.8, if they can keep the deductions down.
Well, the landing might have been dead, Chrsitine, but her hopes are very much alive. They're getting close to the top with this vault. It was a little cracker, wasn't it? Look, nice and high, really tight. And that landing, well, she couldn't have wished for better. Shoulders well up on landing, plenty of top on the vault. Great start for her.
So a bit of support on the left forearm for bars. Chance to see beam then. This is Emily Little. Oh no, it's not. Anna Pogras for Romania. She was beam world champion last year. And this, no doubt about it, was her best piece in qualification.
And she's grown quite a bit in this last year. Still beautifully elegant. And beautifully flighted 2 backflips into a really well-held straight somersault. And that change leg to ring with the head right back is one of the few gymnasts who really complete it well. Smooth free walkover, just a little arm circle before the sheep jump. The head back again. She's very nice and supple. So these flighted moves can look elegant. The side somersault as well as the free cartwheel. Gets the link. The change leg split sleep straight into the tuck back for the bonus. Little quiet full spin. Gymnasts have to show the split position in leaps. She does that with ease. Now, has she the power for the big dismount? 2 flips, double pike. Yes, she has, just a pace. But that was class beam work.
Well, she looks a lot different than she did in qualifying. Got her head together and back to the Pogras we've known.
And Pogras in the same group as Hannah Whelan. You could just see her at the edge of the shot there. Hannah's doing incredibly well at the moment, in 7th.
Great attack. The Romanians love this apparatus, and she's one of their very best. Nice and solid with hips and shoulders. Plenty of control. That's impressive. Head well back. Just dipped the shoulder a little when she landed. Accelerating. She needed a good dismount, and it was pretty tight, the double pike, just the pace back.
The gymnasts are setting off then towards their second piece of apparatus. Reisman up into second, 15.233, 0.483 behind a teammate, Weber, who leads the field at the moment. 3 pieces to go then. Yao Jingjian in that top group, she's in third. Oh, Paulgrass has a score has just come in, and it is challenging for a medal. Anna Paulgrass, 15.1 for beam, takes her up into third, pushes Yao Jingjian down into fourth. There's confirmation of all of that, and look who's in eighth. Hannah Whelan. What a solid start from her.
Well, especially as that's a beam score. The vaults are usually the scores that are higher.
Looking further down, there's Vanessa Ferrari in 14th. She'll be looking for a top 10 spot if she can. Elizabeth Seitz, with that incredible difficulty, is in 11th. 2 Australians. Bottom section, Lauren Mitchell, uncharacteristically in 23rd. She must have had a nightmare.
Yes, she's been suffering with a bit of an injury. I think this heavy schedule of 3 days of competition, if you're a little bit sore before you start, is asking a lot. But, you know, she helped her team to qualify in that top 8, and that was the important thing at this World Championships.
Yeah, so the group from floor move over to vault. Top group, the leaders, move over 2 bars. Will they be kind to them? So we've got Weber, who's leading the field, and Reisman, and a Paulgrass in that second group. Yao Jingjian 4th, Komova 5th, Yao Qingshang 6th, and Seva 7th.
6 gymnasts in each group, so 30 seconds a gymnast. You get a 3-minute warm-up as you move round from the apparatus. Just enough time to have a quick feel of it, ready for your performance.
Hannah Whelan moves over to floor. Got a 14.1 in the team final. And incredibly well for the team, as did all members, really, to get that 5th place finish. Which I was talking to Beth earlier on today, and, you know, could never have predicted it. And then Japanese that didn't have a great competition, to be fair, that kind of helped them into that 5th place.
Yes, I think the Japanese had certainly peaked for the first day of competition, because then they found it difficult to get themselves going since then.
Yeah.
But the British girls have prepared very well. They'd been together for 6 weeks and trained lots and lots of routines. They were very focused on doing the team job.
Right, Tanaka is in that group from Japan. There's your vaulters.
And in fact, Great Britain had a friendly competition against Romania 2 weeks before this, and on finals day, rather than just let the gymnasts compete for a place in the finals, the British coaches decided to use it as a practice for team final. They put the 3 gymnasts on each apparatus that they thought they would use for team final, and they worked it exactly as they did here. So they'd really taken that seriously.
Little Rai Tanaka that we were just looking at there, her 2 brothers were quite influential yesterday in the men's team final, which went right down to the wire. My word, it was a fantastic competition.
How proud must their parents be? 3 of them in the Japanese team effort. There she is, Ria Tanaka.
Koko Sarumi, teammate. It is just the warm-up, so don't be...
Don't panic.
Yeah, she has had a nightmare on bars already.
However, she's in bars final, so the day to do the real good routine will be on final day.
Yeah. Romania. 9th in all rounds last World Championships.
Really unusual mount. And the big full twist. Such confidence. Beam is so much about confidence because really she was quite off. Held it well there. Very smooth free walkover. See beautiful foot extension all the time. Ah, but now the head wasn't really far enough back on that. I doubt the judges will credit that move. And that was a little bit short on splits. All these leaps are meant to show a 180-degree split. Good control on the free cartwheel. And the spin. The change leg into the pike back. She's one of the new gymnasts coming through from Romania. The acrobatics are great, but there's still a little bit of work to do on the dance work. But look, the acrobatics, really well done. 2 flips, double pike dismount.
Gymnasts still warming up on bars. They get a little bit extra time just because they can alter the distance between.
They can alter the distance, and each gymnast is actually given 50 seconds from the moment they start, and it's partly because they all like their bars slightly different, you know, the chalk rubbed in or the chalk rubbed off, whatever. So the timing doesn't actually start until the gymnast goes on the bars, not when, you know, they don't take time off for the coach rubbing it around.
Well, hopefully the judges on bars are a little speedier than the judges on vault. Okay, so the current leader. Having bagged the highest score on vault, the current leader. Over to bars, Jordan Weber.
Forward clear circle, very difficult skill. Lovely transfer. Oh, and she lost shape there. Very expensive to lose the straight body shape. She's got to hit every handstand from here on in. Kachev just a little bit lacking in rotation. Had to work hard in the upstart to keep it going. Winding up. Double layup, beautifully done though. It's a 6-3 difficulty, but there were quite serious error right in the middle of that.
Oh yeah, signs that she is actually human amongst all of that difficulty.
Absolutely.
Sirita.
And the relatively quiet, full twisting, straight somersault off the top. Carries a tariff of 5. But no, talking about that bar routine, that really was quite substandard from what we've seen from her. She struggled on the 2 forward elements. She had to use a bit of power to get them over. And she really, yeah, that wasn't great bar work at all.
I do 14.416 for her beam routine. That puts her up into second at the moment, but we're still waiting for Weber's score to come in for bars.
That's the beauty of the sport though, Chrsitine. You gain on the swings, lose on the roundabouts. It's 4 performances. It's not about 1, it's 4.
Absolutely, but you can see on her face she's not in the slightest bit pleased with herself on that. Physically, she's nowhere near made for bars as well as she is for the power events. I'm sure she's had to work very hard to learn to swing, and she just almost let the swing overtake her on the shoot down. She didn't kill it enough to be able to hit the handstand. She recovered well. A gymnast with less strength would have clattered to the floor.
Well, she was doing handstands. For upstarts, practically dead hang, wasn't she? She was really struggling.
Christine, 13.933. I think they put up the wrong caption for her vault earlier on. So Jordan Weber, 13.6. Well, she's still ahead, but for how long is the question?
Absolutely, and we've just been able to see Hannah Whelan complete a very good floor routine. No score up yet, but that's her second piece cleanly completed.
Victoria, come over. Second. She's looking to make a difference here.
That light frame looks beautifully elegant. She's hitting that still lovely in the pack somersault. Transfer to lower bar. Mile clear in the stoop in. And again. Oh. Did she tickle the bars then? But it was a lovely straight salto. A little bit late with that handstand, but back into the release. And a little bit of nerve showing throughout there, and a couple of paces at the end as well, but some lovely light work.
And is it going to be worth more than 13.6?
Oh, for definite. That was a big, big challenge.
Chance to see Hannah Whelan's floor.
This is a real treat. Whip into triple twist, beautifully cleanly landed. Very explosive floor, this. And the big series, 1.5, walk out into 2.5, again cleanly into the jump. Good leaps, good lift. Has to include a double rotation. Here it comes. Double tuck. Excellent landings. Builds the difficulty with another leap. You have to include at least 3 leaps or spins in your difficulty, 5 acrobatic skills. And the final one has to be at least a D. Here it is, big double pike, just a little skip.
Well, after being, Hannah was lying 8th. So a strong, strong performance from her. Victoria come over 15.4 for bars. She takes the lead by a whole mark.
And that was a really classy A-bar performance from Komova. She's got bags of difficulty in there.
This is Lao Kim-Chang. She qualified 4th. She was 6th last year's World Championships on bars.
The Chinese that set technique on bars are light for the women. They've certainly got some beautiful work. Those little flourishing arm actions. Tiny flicker of the legs at the top. 1.5 turns easily done. This is really a beautiful bars routine. Plenty of flight and height in the pack transfer. She has to work hard there, look, into the upstart to get back into the swing. Hitting handstand. A little bit dippy in the back, but very good through the Piro. And here she is winding up, double layout, but almost overcooked it. You could see the relief on her face.
Little celebration as well at the end. She was in 6th after her first piece of apparatus. Little celebration as well at the end. She was in 6th after her first piece of apparatus, and looking to climb the rankings.
Well, she was one of the gymnasts who fell in the team final, so that was a great performance from her.
Brace yourselves, everyone. Hannah Whelan has gone up into 3rd after that phenomenal floor routine.
14.133, a really good score for Hannah that reflected those wonderfully clean landings. It's an expressive floor routine. She's worked really hard on the presentation, and there's a lot of marks given for artistry and performance, and she would have got quite a lot of those bonuses.
Well, she scored 14.1 for the team in the team final, and I think she had a little penalty there as well. We're not really sure what happened, but I think she might have put her foot out. Krishan waiting for her score. They'll move over to beam in a moment. Well, a surprise, really, for Weber, who's just at the top of the screen there. Real disappointment for her, looking for this individual gold. Yeah. Americans are powering their way to gold.
It's the apparatus she didn't score so well on.
Gruber, vault.
Powerful vaulting, 1.5 twist in the handspring, pike front, kicks the legs out and wraps 1.5 turns in.
Krishan scores 14.966. That puts her into second and pushes Weber down into third. Kamova's leading. Afantseva, 20-year-old Russian, chalking up. Afantseva was lying 7th after vault. Here she is, bid for bars. Just outside the medals, the Europeans, 2009 on this piece of apparatus.
Full pirouette, straight into the transfer with a half turn. Smooth work here, and very nicely flighted Draeger, caught with straight arms. And a big catch over, a bit short on rotation, but she takes it into the pat somersault. Good bonus for linking the moves, but she was at a bit of a standstill by the time she got there. Hits that handstand at the end, winds up into the dismount, full twisting double back. She got it all in, but it just looked a bit of a scrabble.
She's probably quite heavy on landings, same as the vault.
Well, I think the floor comes to her as a little bit of a surprise in those dismounts. But didn't she work? You said it. She packs it all in, and she really does fill the routine and give it max. Toe on and off into the half turn. Nicely flighted in the Jaeger. Plenty of rotation there. And the Kachev, not quite as free, but keeps the swing going well. And this is where she really got busy. The shoulders weren't back enough to guarantee more rotation. And you can see the result.
That was a really good battling performance, though. She went for all her links, which in a way, you know, if you add the moves together, then they give you the extra marks.
Steingruber, 14.866 for a second piece of apparatus, vault. She goes into 6th.
She's one of the big vaulters in the vault final later in the week.
So far, Afantseva's moved up 3 places. 14.2 for bars, puts her just outside of medal contention. 2 pieces to go. Anna Porgras, Romania, 17 years old, 5th on floor at World Championships 2 years ago.
Traditionally, beam and floor, very good for Romania. We'll soon see. Double layout, absolutely emphatic in the landing. Two and a half twist. Front semi out, nicely under control. Nice little touches of elegance there. Tiny bit past vertical on completion of the spin, but not too much damage. Choreography and all the dance, so important to the projection of the exercise. Going very well so far, but that was a little bounce backwards from the double tuck. Nice little subtleties in music and tempo, beautifully matched. She's going well. Just the error in the double tuck. What about this? Double pike and a similar error in the double pike. Well, that's a pity because there were some delightful touches there.
Really beautiful, supple routine, this.
Well, Paul Grass was in third. Here's Alexandra Reisman. Reisman was lying second after vault.
Big Shaposhnikova, but the feet were apart when she caught. Lifts well up to the high bar. Smooth, just a tiny bit short of handstand. Half turn, huge Jaeger, but again, just a little bit untidy with the feet. Full pirouette, nicely completed into the Kachev. Oh, a little bit bent legs when she caught. Oh, and she did handstand hop and just missed the hand. Now all those backwards and forward swings, she does it again well. Oh, and again, she's really got herself rattled. She just should have stopped, calmed herself down like she is now. It's into the dismount, I think, up, double front dismount. Well, she lands that, but that will probably be 3 whole marks deducted, I would think, for that. 2 falls.
She was rattled right from the beginning. You know, when you mentioned the leg split there, I almost think she got lost in her routine.
She's not a class worker on asymmetric bars. It's all power and push. And she just didn't seem to be settled, did she?
Yeah, there were touches. There wasn't even one clean skill that she can normally do. And look at this, she didn't get the grip properly underneath. And then she got herself in a tiz and really did here. She should have taken her time, as Chrsitine said. Finally, she got going again. And there's the double tuck, but so much damage done to any medal hopes there.
Real surprise.
Reisman moves from second to 9th. 12.9, what a different story this competition is for the Americans. And Paul Grass, oh, she's just outside of medal contention at the moment. 13.966 for floor, puts her in 4th. Watch this space.
Just a few errors for Paul Grass with legs, I think, on twists and that.
Yao Ying-yang, the last gymnast, this top 6 group. To salute the judges. 16 years old, reserved for the bars final.
And she, the only one to match Victoria Komova for difficulty. 6-7 is a D score in qualifying. That's lovely and clean, plenty of swing, plenty of flight. Now that's a dead hang. That's a long way to go between the bars when you're that size. Now she's got to hit every handstand and every release. Kachev safely through. Accurate in the handstand so far. Look at that, lovely turn. And again into the inverted grasp. Lovely height and flow in the Jaeger. The straddle front somersault. Now then, if she stands it up, it will be a huge challenge. That was terrific. 6-7 start value, and what can they take from it?
Well, she was in 4th. I'm sure her score will build from there. Komova currently leads with a 15.4 on bars.
Well, that was cleaner than Komova's performance. It was a really tight, well-flighted performance. You can see the catches are on arm's length, the handstands are clean. Like you say, she's got the huge start value. Look how high. And catches really at full stretch. Now, this is what we mean when we say swings with real fluency. Always straight arms, lovely straight body, nails the landing. That was a serious challenge.
Power of Hipólito from Brazil.
Lovely height, the 1.5 twist off. Not so difficult as some, but this gymnast has wowed us. 3 Olympic Games she's performed in.
Yao scores 14.933. She's 0.434 behind Komova.
Now, who is going to have the courage to stay on the beam? That's the big question.
14.3 for Danielle Hipólito. Into 9th at this stage. Very seasoned competitor. She's been around a long time, 27 years old now, Chris. She's 5 World Championships, 3 Olympic Games. It's great for the sport, isn't it?
Oh, yes, indeed. And still performing wonderful gymnastics to be in this top 24 competition. They've had a bit of a change at the top in Brazil.
Victoria Komova, the current leader. You can read it, and she's earned it.
And it doesn't all look quite so rosy for the American gymnast, does it, after this second piece of apparatus?
Well, do you think their priority was on the team and they're off the boil a little bit?
I think their priority is the team. That's what they always come for. But I don't think they're off the boil. I just think that they are not great on bars. And when you're faced in the same group as kids who are great on bars, you just get that little flickering of question in your mind, don't you?
Understandable. She's smiling, isn't she? You think she's a bit harshly done by on bars?
We didn't see the start values, whether she got all her difficulty given. Yeah, they've given a D score of 6.7, I can see over there.
Yao Yinan in second at the moment. Yeah, sorry, you were saying.
No, I thought she gave a very clean performance.
Here we are then at the halfway stage. Victoria Komova, 30.333. Significant lead over Yao Yinan, and Wang Quishang is in third at the moment. Leading the USA Challenges, Jordan Weber. Hipólito up in 9th.
And Hannah Whelan, I think, in 7th, is that correct? Yep.
Hannah Whelan, that's great to be in 7th at the halfway stage. Celine van Gerner for the Netherlands in 17th. And Laura Mitchell down in 22nd. You don't see that very often. So 7th at halfway for Hannah. Is that, what do you think about it, Christine?
No, I think it's excellent. The, beam and floor are probably her 2 best pieces. So she'll have been delighted to have performed both of them to the best of her ability. Vault, she does a 1.5, so it's not as difficult as some, but she's a good vaulter.
Competition really hotting up now. Halfway through, and they're sorting themselves out. They've had disappointment for the Americans. Chinese and Russians are working well.
I'm sure the American gymnasts will come back fighting. They're both very good on the beam, and I can't see them giving in at all. And you know, these young gymnasts who are in the lead at the moment have still got to surmount that headache of a good beam performance.
Indeed they have, and those are the names. That's where the winner's going to come from. It's been a very exciting first half of the competition.
I think we have Poorgrass up into 5th, but she also has probably had her 2 good pieces.
There we are, young lady did a really good job. Wang Quishang on bars, and she started her bid, and here she is on beam, of course, there, absolutely.
She's looked very promising for a while and never delivered. She's been absolutely the worst of the Chinese for being inconsistent, and and quite a lot of them are inconsistent. So this is her chance to show everybody and to really put herself on the map as one of the stalwarts of the team from China.
When we first saw them work beam, and they're just amazing. They get more height, they're courageous with the leaps, aren't they? They really do love this piece of apparatus.
Yes, they like the Russians have got a real classical style on beam.
Come over then. That's confirmation. She's in the lead at halfway. Yao Jinan and Huang Quishang be the challenge, and Jordan Weaver, the best of the Americans at the moment. And well done to Anna Paulgras, coming to 5th from another group.
I just nipped up and had a word with Beth, who is absolutely delighted, obviously, that Hannah's doing extremely well. So do correct me if you've already just talked about all of this stuff. But interesting to see that the top 3 from last year aren't actually in this competition, Chrsitine. So you've got Alia Mustafina, Yang, and also Rebecca Bross dislocated her knee. So the top 3 from last year, no sign of them at all.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yang is here, but she hasn't worked all round. We saw her just on vault in team final 2 days ago, and she'd grown a lot, and obviously they feel she's not as good as these youngsters. No, very interesting. It seems a bit of a changing of the guard at the top here. The 3 top qualifiers were 16-year-olds, and when you're 16, this is your first year of senior competition. So for them all, it's their first major championships. And these American gymnasts, although they seem terribly mature and tough, they actually haven't had a great deal of international exposure. They don't tend to come and compete very much on the European circuit. They compete a lot in the USA, but it is quite different for them, I think.
Well, in the team final, Yao Yang scored 15.2. In the team final, Komova scored 13.866 on this piece of apparatus. But she did have a nightmare, didn't she?
I was going to say, which was a bit different to the 15.4 in qualification. Something in the middle would be good.
Yes. Well, the gap between 1 and 2 is 0.434. Victoria Komova, looking to do a much better beam routine than she did in the team final. Can she stay ahead of the rest of the world?
Beautiful extension through the feet. Lovely height. Look how high that front somersault was. She looks a waif, but this was what came to grief last time. One backflip, a layout, and a second layout, and she looked composed then. Standing Arabian, she gave a little fight there. She really is deceptive. Lovely split on her leaps. Beautiful soft arms and legs, and yet she's got enormous power as well. This she has to concentrate on. The full spin, leg up. The free walkover, just a little bit of nerves creeping in there, but the jump, she took the head back, she got the difficulty for it. The side somersault, difficult because you're blind as you land. Very difficult double spin, and she won't get credited that as she stepped behind, but at least she didn't fall off. Now, big concentration here. One flip, shoulders back, into the double back, makes the landing. That was a very good performance under pressure.
Indeed. Yeah, maybe a few tenths away for execution, but she didn't lose anything on difficulty, and that's the key.
She fought. She wasn't giving up there.
There were signs of presence, and you used the word, Chrsitine, composure as well. Even after those little wobbles, plenty of attack here. This is what gave her problems in the team, but look at that. Shoulders and hips, lovely and square. Just a sign that she's more in control. Cracker this. Yeah. Standing Arabian, look at this. And then the first of the adjustments, shall we call it, that were necessary.
Well, she's going to be moving on to floor next with much more landing room, of course. Bit safer, so she'll be very happy to get that piece out of the way.
She really is quite a special gymnast. Classical but powerful. Very often the willowy type of gymnast isn't.
Whelan, flying in 7th. Let's have a look. Come on, Hannah.
Come on, big round off, lift off the top. Lovely 1.5 twist. Wow, that was a really good vault.
That was an absolute beauty.
I'm surprised you stayed in your seat, Matt. It was really impressive. Chrystine's up on her feet.
I am.
So am I, for that matter.
She's greeted there by her coach, Amanda Reddin, of course. Beth's coach, trains with Beth. See, textbook, met the floor beautifully. Hands back quickly into the platform, wraps strongly. really gives nothing away there.
I think she's going to go higher up the leaderboard, you know. Well, currently, she's in the lead. It's 4.4. Get in, Hannah. Hannah's lead is short-lived. Victoria come over, 14.683. So she leads Hannah by 2 marks.
And that was almost 1 mark down on the stunning 15.4 and qualification. So she has left the door open to a really strong challenge.
You get the feeling this is going to be yet another tight competition. It's unbelievable out there.
Yang Guishang, Herbine, can she stay put? Can she get through it? She needs to.
Well, we've seen an excellent routine from Komova be punished with tiny adjustments. She doesn't need to make any. She can't afford to. Quite rightly, the judges are on top of the game. Beautiful. Just drifts and floats through the scales, and she's lost her foot as I speak.
Well, she was lying in third.
1 foot on, 1 foot off, and the ankle must have scraped down the side of the beam. Very uncomfortable. But she's back on, look. And that is solid. And that was courageous. Head well back. Very little time to compose herself. She hops straight back on, and she's going well now, once again. I don't want to put commentator's curse on, but the one error was very expensive. She's back in control. Again, takes the head well back. This is important. 360, no problem. Now then. Double pike nailed, just the one error, but what an expensive one.
It seemed so uncharacteristic to the rest of the routine.
It did. She was a little bit slow and flat on that backflip, you know. She didn't really... They have to use the flip to give them some power to get up into the summy.
She's obviously feeling that scrape as well.
Is this the thing? You see, she was really almost leaning forwards when she took off, so she didn't get her weight onto the second foot. But planted the feet well on the end there for the double pike back dismount. She will be deducted for this landing, because you can see when the feet land, the chest is facing the floor. They can take up to 0.5 off for that. So I think that will be a costly beam routine.
Well, after the last piece of apparatus, Komova was leading. Yao Xinjian second. Huang Qingshang, we're looking at here, just had that little mishap, was in third. Chance to see Vanessa Ferrari from Italy, now 20 years old. Kind of watched her grow through the years. She was 6th on floor, the last World Championships, European floor champion.
She burst onto the scene in 2006, becoming world champion. Look at that, double twisting, double back. Now that's the first time since then that we've seen her compete that. And into the single twisting double back. Huge jump. Quite a mature performer now. 1.5 into full twisting front. That all-important series of leaps. You can see the grim determination, make this final tumble, lifts into a great double pike. This is fabulous.
Well, Ferrari was up in the top 8, just behind Hannah Whelan. Clawing her way up.
It's been so impressive to see her. She won World Championships so young, and yet far from going away when the time got tough. She's stuck in there and each year come back and fought to regain a little bit of her confidence. But this, the double twisting double back, was what she competed in her first Worlds. And we haven't seen it again until this year, have we, Mitch?
Very impressive work.
That's the thing with her. I mean, she did grow, didn't she? Loads. I mean, she was like a little pin when we first saw her, and had to reversion all of her work. Similarly, I mean, with Hannah Whelan as well. Hannah's had a growing spurt. That's
right. Hannah was the baby of the team in Beijing and has really grown and reorganised her work.
Shang, second now. She's moved up a place. 13.633, but some big gymnasts to come on this piece. Poor grass. Vaulting.
She's had her best two pieces. What she could produce on vault. Just playing safe, but it was beautifully clean. 5 turret, full twist in the straight somersault position. Lovely and clean, wasn't it?
Very, very nice. Was 5th in the all-round last year.
Lovely straight arms on the top, good lift. You see, really gave the judges almost nothing to deduct. And if you can keep your deductions down low, you don't have to do such difficult work.
First class execution. Having a good competition so far, and at the moment she's in bronze medal contention. 14.1. One more piece to go. Ferrari's now in 5th. After that floor routine, 14.5 given. Saver. 7th at the Olympics on this piece of apparatus, 5th in qualifying.
So she's got plenty of pedigree here. There's the oh, but that was a very expensive first move. The standing Arabian is very difficult. They turn, front somersault, and the beam is completely unsighted. That's much easier, the free walk over into the flip and lay out somersault. Come on, keep your knees bent, that's it. The tourgette with half turn. And another series of leaps. Very light on her feet, on the beam. Hours of practice goes into this work. The half turn to walk out. Call it the Anodi after Henrietta Anodi, first gymnast to perform it. It's always difficult to keep your concentration when you've made a mistake right at the beginning. But she knows she must do a good dismount. And buckled a little bit on the knees there as well.
Well, she wasn't used in the team final for Russia on that piece of apparatus. Maybe not consistent enough.
Well, it didn't look too consistent today, did it?
It didn't. No.
Really hard there to marry the twist with the somersault from a standing start. You've got to get it just right. Pull the shoulders around too soon, and you're going to be off target, and that's what she was. And there were tiny moments in that routine where she lost the focus, and on the finish, that was quite a buckle and an adjustment pace as well. Unfortunate.
Well, she stays in 6th, 13.4. Not too costly as far as position is concerned, but she's not going to challenge for a medal.
Celine Van Gerner. There's a good safe vault, a little bit piked on the landing, using the full twist. Lots of these gymnasts playing safe and going for execution score.
She performed very well in the all-around. Team didn't make that top group, but she was an outstanding performer for them. And you can see this vault, good flight on, but just dies a bit off. She has to pike down quite a bit. And you can really see the difference between that and some of the vaults with more flight.
Van Gerner in 12th, 13.7. Her best finish is 19th in the all-around. That was last year. So going great guns. Yao Yinyan is chalking up. So come over leads then, 45.016. Over a mark and a half behind. Yao Xinjiang, Hannah Poorgrass. I really hope she can hang in there. Hannah Whelan just outside the medals at this stage, in 4th. So on that note, I don't really hope that Hannah Poorgrass hangs on in there.
It would be, she's done absolutely fantastically so far.
Sorry to if you are listening in Romania.
And now we have Hannah's mum behind us.
Oh yes.
We must be the lucky spot, Matt. Well, what an important routine this is. And however many times you've practiced it, it's never quite the same as in front of a huge crowd like this.
Yao Xinjiang in 2nd after the last piece of apparatus. Can she go one better?
She's got the ability. She can stun you on the beam. But will she today? That is a pretty stunning start. The standing full twist. Little pause of concentration, 2 flips. Oh my goodness me. Straight back somersault, only 1 foot on the beam. The other down the side. Two good leaps.
E-score 8.733. The total score is 15.033.
Free walkover. She's a little bit stiff and static here. You can see the nerves in the performance. Every move with a bit of a stop before and after, and that's something the judges deduct for. Oh, a little wobble at the end of that. But that was good. Took the head back, completed the move well. Focus on the beam, sees the V go down, good high double pike. Now that was a very good dismount. What a shame with them bit in the middle. I think she was a bit offline on the first flip and tried to correct it.
Lauren Mitchell on floor. First on floor at last year's World Championships.
Not had the best of outing so far, but here she is on home territory. Double Arabian from whip over. Very nicely done. To the strains of Besame Mucho. Nice full in the double. This is more like the Laura Mitchell we've come to expect. And there's their trademark Cossack turn. centimetre of that floor area being used. Heel right on the corner, 2.5 twist into layout, and the little leap with change leg at the end of it shows she's in control. Head well back on the ring split. Back to where she enjoys, back on the floor. Huge pull through the flick, the double pike and the leap at the end to show she's in control. Well done, Lauren Mitchell.
Yeah, back on song. Lauren, the first Australian woman to win a gold at World Championships.
Been a bit of an indifferent championships for her so far, as we said earlier. She's done the important thing, led her team to qualification for the Olympics, but she is so good at these landings. Takes a landing and rebounds out of it into a jump. That means the judges can't deduct at all for steps on landing and actually give her a bonus for jumping out from the landing. She was very pleased with herself there.
15.033. Puts Lauren Mitchell into 8th. Costly fall, 13.933. She's still clinging on to second. What can Jordan Weaver do here? She's lying in 4th after the last piece of apparatus. Tip for the top here.
Well, I think she'll feel much more encouraged after seeing the errors from the other gymnasts. The door is open to fight back. The one-handed flip into the layout somersault. Good height on the leap, good commitment to join the leap to the pike back somersault. She hovers in the air, she's so powerful. Side somersault, great precision. Leg well held. Another good leap with a quarter turn. The free cartwheel, but she does an enormously difficult skill right at the end here. Just watch this. This is nearly at the end of the routine. The full twisting, tuck back into the back flip. She's really harnessed her concentration, giving it every bit of fight here. She needs all this power. Plants her feet on the beam, 2.5 twist, just a little pace back, but that was a really gritty fight back.
Totally focused on a medal. One more piece to go. It's floor.
He brought the spark back into this competition with that performance. It's a thriller.
She needs a 15.7 to take the lead. Currently the highest score is Komova with 15.4.
So much determination, and that came towards the end of the routine. So she really is in focus. And she's given herself a fighting chance with this exercise. Building powerfully through the flicks. 2.5 twists, and she's plumb center with a beam. Beautiful work from her.
Piece of apparatus she's much more comfortable on, and she showed that really, didn't she? She went there with determination and confidence.
Competition really alive now. That was a performance from the very top draw from Reisman. Jordan Weaver, with that beam routine, has given herself a real chance, hasn't she?
Yeah, well, I think she has, and very disappointing, really, that both the gymnasts from China fell away and didn't manage to complete them well.
15.266. Now we have a competition. She's gone into second.
0.4 behind. So, you know, if Komova can stay on her feet.
Look at that. Hannah Whelan in 6th place. Victoria Komova hangs on. Jordan Weaver's moved up. And Yao Yinan in 3rd. Huang Qixiang in 4th. It's tight at the top. Laura Mitchell's done herself a lot of good as well. She's gone up into 9th. Afanaseva, she's down in 10th, perhaps out of the running at this stage. Koko Surumi clawing back. She's in 16th at the moment. Elizabeth Seitz to Germany. She's clawed back as well. Celine van Goenen from the Netherlands. She's doing a good to get into the top 20 at this stage. You have to say, as they move into this last rotation, Hannah Whelan must be in dreamland at the moment. This is the competition of her very life.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Hannah compete like this in Great Britain often. She's British champion, she has been for the last 2 years, and she's a very clean performer. But each time she's come to the world stage, she's seemed to have just lost a little bit of confidence in the all-around competition. If she can get through bars today cleanly, she'll be showing us truly what she's capable of.
And bars is quite good for her anyway, isn't it? I mean, she's got it all there.
Yeah, she hasn't got the highest start value on bars, a sort of mid-5, but she's a clean performer. She's a good gymnast all round.
Okay, we're into the final rotation now, and we can see that the top group, they're moving onto floor, so that'll be a climax there. Then we have the second group. They've gone on to all attention on the floor. Yao Yinan will be first up there. So top group gone onto floor, the second group down have gone onto bars. Then we have the third group onto vault, and the 18 to 24th place are on beam at this moment. Victoria come over there in front at the moment, 45.016.
For any Canadians that are watching, Chrsitine Lee is moving to beam.
What a thriller in store on this final rotation. And on beam, where the Chinese faulted Chrsitine, that was a real shock, wasn't it?
It was, really, because they're so skillful on beam. And I know over the years they have faltered a little bit and been inconsistent, but you really did think that they would hold it together. Let's see what they do on floor.
Yao Qixiang. Final piece of apparatus.
Can she make good the damage from the fall on the beam? Full twisting double pike. Good, clean triple twist. Your soft arms on the dance. 1.5 twist into another full twist. Travels well across the floor, moves fluently and easily. She kept enough energy for this last tumble. Big backflip, 2.5 twist. Lovely, elegant work, but you know, not with massive difficulty. Not the sort of difficulty we're going to see from the Americans and the Russians.
So maybe not quite enough for a medal. She was in 4th after the 3rd piece.
Well, she stayed on her feet, which the others still have to do. But her qualifying score was only 5.4 in difficulty. If you think the top ones are going to be in the 6s.
Yeah, could well be under threat from poor grass.
And the beauty of this last round is the playing field is level. They're all on the same apparatus. It's only poor grass that is coming from the other group into this. So this is going to be very, very interesting.
And hopefully Hannah Whelan as well.
Well, that's amazing, Hannah's performance so far. Just hope she can keep it up.
Yeah, well, she's moved up a place every round.
Which you can't ask for any more than that. And if she can go and perform the bar routine of her life, who knows what?
Vanessa Ferrari, lying in 7th, is standing at the end of the vault runway.
And this is a strong piece for Vanessa.
She qualified with a 14.266.
She's always been powerful. Oh, and she just undercooked that. Bounced forward from the double turn. Almost collided with the platform. But she's got so much power.
She's feeling the strain through them ankles.
Well, she went for broke. She went for the big vault. She went for the double twist. Wasn't quite round, was she? And rather than absorb the floor, she decided to allow herself to bounce off it. Hopefully not done any serious damage, but you can see it was uncomfortable.
Huang Gushang, 14.1. That wraps up her World Championships. As you see, currently leading, but the current leaders are still to go.
Well, a total of 57 she's got. We're normally expecting a 60 plus for the winner.
Server from Russia, lying 10th after a fall on beam.
Super double straight. The body rotates so slowly in the straight position. The gymnast has to be so powerful in the round off flip. 2 whips into triple twists. She packs it in. That spin in attitude, she really fell out of it. Very difficult leap into the corner, and the 2.5 into pull twist, that's more like the difficulty level. Good use of the hands and the head to sell the routine. We know she's a great tumbler. Clean double pike to finish.
Competition over then. Afantseva.
Huge tumbles in that routine, but you spotted a few errors in the choreography and the dance type elements and the spins, didn't you, Christine?
Yeah, I think she fell out of both her spins, but that double straight somersault.
long way round, isn't it? It's the longest axis, and you really need power to go through it.
She uses her head, but this routine really needs her face, a smile, an expression as well. It's very well choreographed, but she just needs to finish it off with the facial expression. Perhaps she's feeling too unhappy about the fall on beam still.
Ferrari's score on vault, 12.733. Sure, she's in third, but she'll be way down from there.
You've said it so often, there's 4 chapters to this story, and each one has to be successful to really emerge as victorious. Who's been the most consistent so far?
Come over.
Has to be come over.
Yeah.
Well, if she can stand up on the floor properly.
It's time to phone home and say it wasn't to be this year. Maybe next. Well, there's the current leader after the last round. What lies in store for her? Afanseva, 14.666. Every score above, was it? No, beam was down. It would have been. Alexander Reisman, 4th highest qualifier. She was 4th last year on this piece of apparatus.
Now then, she needs fireworks. 1.5 twists. Double Arabian, and there's the punch front she left out in the team competition. So, an explosive start. Avanagila. Double pike, the second enormous tumble. Talk about choreography, but you wonder with all this exuberant tumbling how she finds time to get the expression in. And so far, it's going well. No clear errors at all, even on the dance elements. Nicely upright out of the spin. Got the crowd on her side. I wonder if she can hear them. Triple twist all the way around. Plenty of energy in the split leap, and now then. The double pike, tiny little adjustment forward, but she's left her best until last.
It was good, there's no doubt about it, but coming from 8th, Mitch, I think it's just a bit too much of a mountain to climb, or even jump, for that matter. Anna Pogras was in 5th.
Now, this, not her favourite apparatus, but can she perform with special style here? That was very clean and nice to start. Good Stalder with 1.5 turn, very late on that last half a turn. But clean in the Jaeger somersault. That was a better full pirouette. Shoot down. Nearly demolished her coach on the way. But up to handstand smoothly. Lifting into the dismount, winds it up, double straight. That was as well as she could do.
Well, it's not easy, is it, to get the big scores on bars?
No, she's got one very big error. She does that 1.5 pirouette.
You can see it's late then when she completes it. Feet were almost at horizontal. That's a massive deduction, isn't it? 5/10, Christian?
Yes, probably 5/10.
There's the Stalder. And you can see it finding her way around. The full turn was fine. Winding up, feet over the bar, tiny little kink in the arms, and the double layout just pinged a little early, almost under-rotated.
She's got a reasonable start value for it. It's just whether they really hammer those turns.
Reisman, 14.9. She's gone ahead of the rest of the field so far. but some big guns still to come.
That's a big fight back for her, though. A very impressive tumbling.
3 more gymnasts to go. There's 2 more gymnasts on bars to go before Hannah Whelan. Yao Jinjian did floor in the team final. Helped China to that bronze medal.
She needs to be accurate, confident, light of foot, and she needs to sell this routine. Double layout, superb. Triple twist on the second tumble and she jumped out of it. So she's under control at the moment. 2 superb openers and kept control through the spins. That's superb. And she's really working with so much grace and elegance. She's a tiny girl, but looking very much in control. 1.5 twists. Nicely into 2.5. Lovely sense of projection from that. And well back. Again, a little bit of swagger there, selling the routine very well indeed. Back into the tumbling. She needs to be just as accurate as she's been so far. The double pike, tiny little pace back. Do you know what? I thought that was delightful.
Absolutely agree, Mitch. I thought that was a really charming routine, excellent tumbles.
Yeah, lovely, and dancing to a medley of West Side Story. And what a story this would be if she could medal here.
Well, that was very good, because floor is historically not a great place for the Chinese gymnast, and that was a really special performance.
Look at the height. Spots the landing, plenty of time.
She was very precise with those landings. When, you know, she could have taken a little step, she disciplined herself not to do that. The only small step was on the final tumble, the double pike, but she smiled, she sold the routine, she made it a pleasure to watch.
Lovely way to finish for her, wasn't it? And, it is a delight to see work like that.
Ballgrass 14.133 for bars. She goes up into 3rd. 2 gymnasts to go on floor. Jordan Weber and current leader Victoria Komova. Yao Yinyan 14.766. Well, that's the score to beat. Jordan Weber, last chance of a medal here.
Beautiful double twisting, double back. She'll be out to beat that score. The 1.5 walk out, very smooth into the triple twist. Clean triple spin. Good control on that series of leaps. Good split as well. Two and a half, punch run, just a step out. She was a tiny bit offline. Make precise entry into this last big double pike. That was much more like it. Well, gave away just that 0.1 for a step out, but all in all, she's really fought back well.
Well, the score she needs to medal is 14.016.
I thought she could do that. I
Yeah.
would be surprised if not.
Terrific height, look at that, double. Not phased at all by the pressure on it to try and get enough marks to grab the gold medal at the last minute. That pace out could be expensive though. Still in with a very big chance. How much damage has she done with that 10th away?
Well, her qualifying score was 14.5. If you take a 0.1 off 14.4,
Yeah. Such a different competition, this, from what we've seen the Americans.
they looked vulnerable, haven't they?
Indeed. What's it gonna be? Well, she's leading with one gymnast to go, a score of 14.8. Victoria, come over, from Russia. 16 years old. Can she score 14.367? If she can, she's world champion.
Great start. 1.5 twist through to double Arabian. Now then, big test for a medal. We wondered if she could come through the pressure. So far, plenty of energy from the double tap. Just a little skip back. Now she's well into the zing of the routine. Again, the crowd with her. Very precise in the leap so far. Just one skip back from the double tuck. How is this tumble going to be? Pretty much under control for the triple twist. Superb effort so far. Oh, and she dipped out past the vertical line at the end of those spins. The judges have room to deduct. Pulls hard and a slight buckle on the double pike. Well, that's her bid. Is it good enough?
I think she's landed that final tumble and knew she'd done enough.
Well, she's the gymnast that's worked without errors.
Consistent. With touches of brilliance too. Let's not just say, you know, I mean, she's got the work. The bars was beautiful, wasn't it?
Oh, and that floor routine was beautiful. Lovely tumbling. Her mother was part of the Soviet team that won the world gold medal in 1985. She's been destined to be a gymnast all the way through. And you have to say, does have similarities to Nastya Lukin in the real classical, elegant style. A beautiful gymnast and will be a great champion.
Very faithful to the Swan Lake choreography as well. Lots of the elements, the arm movements, the finish position. Beautifully done.
And she's looking anxiously. The first time we've seen smile and relaxation.
Oh! Well, 14.333. She's gone into second. Just 0.033 behind Weber.
And you know, it will have been that fall out of the double spin, the spin with her leg up. They will have counted that as a fall, I think. Otherwise, why else that score?
Well, Weber can't believe it. Komova can't believe it.
She's decimated.
I honestly thought she'd nailed it.
Wow.
So did absolutely everyone here in this arena.
But you've made the point so many times, Chrsitine, it's not only about the tumbles, is it? And that could have been very expensive, that spin, to fall from it. Look,
Yeah.
what can you say to her now?
The
So upset.
atmosphere in here is just that of disbelief.
Absolutely. The only other place they would have had deductions was that final tumble. She landed, but her chest was down. But hey, you know, Weber put her foot out of the floor, so they'd been scoring floor quite reasonably.
Well, 2 sets of tears for different reasons.
Hannah Whelan, I can tell you, scored 13.258, and she finishes 9th.
Which is a fantastic performance inside the top 10. Really a superb result for Hannah and for Great Britain.
Yao Yingyan scores 14.766. I was talking to Beth earlier on, and the idea was to try and aim for that 12. I mean, to have finished 9th for Hannah, that's brilliant, isn't it?
Fantastic. Inside the top 10.
But that's got a ring to it, isn't it? Top 10 of the world, that's got a real ring to it.
Really special.
Well, just look at the state of Komova. I feel for her. I mean, she finished that floor routine. She looked down, she had this beaming smile on her face. It was as if, that's it.
I wonder whether the Russian camp will protest that score. It's gone through, but they can protest the D score. They can protest the difficulty score. And we saw a couple of protests be upheld last night or 2 days ago. So I do wonder whether they might.
Surely they're going to have a goal.
You would expect so. You would if you were the coach.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, when you see her like that, she really is 16 years old. She gave into the pressure there, and you suddenly realise this is a young girl at the top of the game who really thought she'd done it.
And I don't think for 1 minute Weber thought she'd done it.
No. Wow. Komova, where there's, not much of a exchange of glances there, was there, between Weber and Komova? So, Jordan Weber is the women's all-around world champion. Victoria Komova has to settle for silver. Yao Yingyan from China takes bronze. Well, you can't take it away from her. She had a phenomenal competition. She forced it in that style of the Americans. Go around, when things don't go your way, just try harder.
No, she did, and she was very, very admirable. And even on the bars where it was going wrong, she didn't give up. She fought on, and that's what gave her the chance to fight back.
Oh, absolutely devastated.
And Alexander Raisman doesn't look a happy person either. They came so full of confidence, the Americans, and I think when they got here it wasn't quite as easy as it had seemed.
Well, Raisman finished where she qualified in 4th. Yao Yingyan was 5th, Anna Pogras 6th, Afanseva 7th, Lauren Mitchell, great recovery from her, she finishes 8th ahead of Hannah Whelan.
Yao Yingyan, I thought she did a great job to come through and hold on the bronze for China.
As confirmation, this year's women's all-around final. Jordan Weber, world champion by .033, ahead of Komova. Yao Yingyan takes bronze, Raisman 4th, Wang 5th, Anna Pogras 6th, Afanseva 7, Lauren Mitchell 8, and Hannah Whelan finishes the competition in 9th.
Yes, yeah. Looking at Komova's difficulty score, they only gave her a 5.7 D score. In qualification, she got a 5.9 D score, so that's the big difference. Whether they, and I would suspect they didn't count that double spin with the leg held up.